Smithville just crossed into balanced market territory. If you're buying or selling in 2026, this information's going to change your strategy completely. I pulled the March sales data this week. What I found is that prices are up and homes are selling faster, and the number of new listings exploded by 525%, showing that we're very close to the spring market. But the full story is more complicated than just one headline. So we're going to get into all the numbers and what it means for you as you buy and sell in the spring. I'm David Hildebrand, your local Smithville and West Lincoln realtor, and I'm also a Smithville resident. Let's get into the data. Before we dive into the data, I just want to let you know that I put out a free market report for West Lincoln and Smithville each and every month, and it's totally free. If you want to get access to that and have the data each and every month, you can just click the link in the description and I will send that over to you. So what we're going to cover this video is we're going to look at how the March data has affected the Smithville market, and then we're going to expand into West Lincoln as a whole and see how that is differing from even the town of Smithville. Also, we're going to cover what buyers need to be doing right now as they develop their strategy for buying, and we're going to look at what sellers need to do as they plan for listing in the spring. So I'm going to get into the monthly market report. This is what it looks like here for West Lincoln and Smithville in March of 2026. Now this is an overview of the stats, but what I'm most interested in is going to the month over month. So in the left column here, we've got February of 2026, and in the right column here is where we're at in March 2026. So we can actually see that in West Lincoln, the benchmark price went up 1.7% from where it was in February. Now, there is a lot less sales in West Lincoln than in other parts of Niagara, but again, we haven't seen an increase in benchmark price for quite some time. Now, months of inventory has also gone up, which is definitely going to be due to the number of new listings that have come to the market. West Lincoln as a whole, 4 new listings is up 250%. Active inventory is also up to 34% over last month, but another good indicator for sellers is that cumulative days on market, so the total time that a home is on the market, is down 23%. And then another great thing is sales to list ratio has gone up from 94.1% in February to 95.4% in March, which is a 1.4% increase. Into the bigger picture, we move over to year-over-year comparison. So for benchmark price, we see that we've come down actually quite a bit since March of last year. Benchmark price for West Lincoln was $901,000, and it's now $840,000, a decline of 6.6%, which is not as bad as other markets. But again, months of inventory has gone up to 10.4 months. The number of homes sold is relative to where it was of last year. New listings is also very similar, but then we see that active inventory has gone up quite a bit from where it was last spring. But then also cumulative days on market is down year over year as well, and sales to new list ratio is also down. So compared to last year, West Lincoln remains a buyer's market and inventory is up 22.1%. Is a continued softening trend from the previous period in March of last year. Homes are selling faster though, which is a good indicator that the market has regained some stability, and well-priced properties are attracting serious buyers despite the amount of elevated supply that we're seeing. So now we're going to move over to Smithville. Smithville is the main town within the West Lincoln region, and we're going to look at some of the month-over-month stats here as well. So for benchmark price, we also saw an increase in price, so up 0.5% in terms of benchmark price. Months of inventory has gone up significantly as well, almost double of where it was last month. And again, that has to do with the amount of sales that we've had. Numbers will fluctuate very quickly because less data points means that those sales are highly weighted in terms of how they affect the overall statistics. Number of homes sold is relatively the same, but then we see here, this is the main number, is that new listings in February was 4. In Smithville now is 25 new listings, a growth of 525%. We had a really bad February in terms of weather. which meant that there was a lot less people that were saying, I'm going to list my home now. So a lot of those listings probably got pushed into March. And then we also have the spring market, which also brings in a lot more inventory. Active inventory increased because of that, but cumulative days on market went down 30% actually from February, down from 83 days on market to 58. So homes that are well priced are selling quicker, and there is more active buyers and more serious buyers. The other thing to look at is that sale to list ratio has gone up 3.8%, which again is a good indicator for sellers that the gap between where you're listing and where people are buying has shrunk. If we go to year over year now, as we look to Smithville, Smithville's prices have gone down more than West Lincoln as an area. They've gone down 8.4% from March of last year. Months of inventory is actually the exact same. So that's a good indicator that the spring market should yield the same kind of results as last year. Number of homes sold has gone up slightly. New listings and active inventory have gone up as well. And then we look, cumulative days on market has also gone down year over year. So even when you're listing, your home will generally sell faster if you're a seller this year than it would have last year. And the final stat is sales to list ratio, which year over year has gone down. It was almost at 99% in March of 2025 and is 96% this year. So compared to this time last year, Smithville's market has softened on price, yet the underlying activity tells a more nuanced story that homes sold are up 40%, days on market has improved, and months of inventory has remained the same. Buyers have a little bit more room to negotiate than they did a year ago, but well-positioned properties are still closing close to asking price. Now, if we do a location overview here, this is the stats that we have here. This just shows side-by-side comparison between West Lincoln and Smithville. So the main thing to look at in terms of differences is that generally West Lincoln will have a higher months of inventory. It's almost double for this past month in March. That's almost always going to be due to the fact that West Lincoln has a lot of rural properties, lots of acreages, things that will always take a little bit longer to sell because the buyer pool is a lot smaller. But we see here price per square foot is exactly the same in terms of what things are selling at per square foot. And then, a lot of things are actually very similar, like even like sales to list ratio is very similar. So West Lincoln and Smithville are both trending along the same path, but it was encouraging to see that the benchmark price went up in both West Lincoln and in Smithville. So I just want to touch on what this means for buyers as we approach the spring market. Now, the numbers have started to trend more towards sellers and are more indicative of what a balanced market would look like in the springtime. Now, it's important for buyers at this point of the year, especially, is to get pre-approved and get all your ducks in a row so that when the right home comes up for you, you're ready to pounce on it. Now, we saw a sale to list ratio of 96% in Smithville last month, which has increased from months prior all the way back to the end of last year. So sellers are listing homes at a price that is more realistic, but they're also getting closer to asking price. So the amount of negotiating power is starting to decrease. Now, if I'm giving advice to people, as I do every day when I work with them in Smithville, is I would just encourage you as a buyer that now is a good time to get into the market. We're starting to see trends that the market is stabilizing in terms of prices in Smithville and West Lincoln particularly. And if you're ready to move, you have your financing in order, and you see a house that you like, I would say don't wait. The market's showing that now would be a good time for you to buy. Now for sellers, we've seen some encouraging statistics. First and foremost is that the cumulative days on market has gone down, which is really great. It means that your home from the day you first list it to the day that it's sold has gone down. Now this is, it's a two-tiered point because one is that you still have to price your home at a price that is reasonable for today's market. But on the flip side, it also means that if you are priced well, you're looking at around 2 months to go from listed to sold. Now, if these numbers are new to you and you're unfamiliar with how the real estate market has gone, 2 months is actually a pretty decent number for you as a seller. There's numbers of listings that are reaching the end of their 3-month term and are needed to be relisted or canceled and relisted at a lower price. So if you are priced correctly, then you will see your home sold likely between 1 to 2 months. The main stat that sticks out in a negative way for sellers is that amount of new listings increased by 525% from February. So what this means is you're likely going to encounter more competition with people that are listing similar homes to you, which makes pricing your home more important than ever. As you compete against other listings, maybe you're up against 3 or 4 other listings, it's important to stand out not just in the quality of the photos and the listing itself, but also in the price. You want to be priced the most favorably amongst those that are listed with you so that you have the upper edge and you can get your home sold before the others that are in your same price point and in your similar style home. So that is the March data that we just went through for Smithville and West Lincoln. Again, West Lincoln and Smithville have been trending in similar directions, with Smithville seeing a huge surge in amount of new listings, but also seeing a decrease in the amount of time that it takes for homes to sell. If you want a full picture into what the market is looking like each and every month, you can just click the link in the description and I will set you up so that you get a monthly email every month showing you all the data and my interpretation of it. So again, click the link in the description and you can get that. It's totally free to you. Now, if you're exploring a move to Smithville, you're definitely going to want to check out this video that I have right here. It talks about all the pros, cons, and local secrets for living in Smithville. You're going to want to check that out. I'm David Hildebrand, your West Lincoln and Smithville realtor, and I will see you in that video.